Hey, how are you? I hope you are doing lovely. My name is Molly Flowers, and I'm here to review the forecast for the week of July 7th, 2025. Join my Patreon to get my written notes and a lot more great stuff. This week, the full moon week this month, has few planetary pings, not a lot of aspects to talk about this week, but there are still some really big shifts in play. As Uranus moves into Gemini this week for the first time in over 80 years, and Saturn retrograde begins. Green days are days when opportunities flow, luck, and ease are present and easier to find. And it's easier to move forward and get things done. July 12th is the green day for this week. It's the only one. Red days are days when there's more friction, there's more challenge, more tension, and more awareness needed to go about your day. And there are no red days this week. That doesn't mean that everything's going to be awesome this week, because I do see some shifting going on with Uranus entering Gemini and Saturn about to retrograde in Aries back towards Pisces again. We're in kind of one of those in-between spaces when we're not in the old era anymore, but we're not really in the new era of time yet either. And sometimes these times of the year, these seasons, these liminal spaces can feel really exhausting. I don't know. I've seen a lot of it recently of just feeling a bit out of gas. Anyways. Let's get into these details a little bit more. On Monday, Uranus will cross the threshold between Taurus and Gemini, out of Taurus and into Gemini. You might feel a stir of excitement or nervous energy around this transition, a sense of newness, or it can be a complete sense of tiredness too. As the planet of truth bombs, authenticity, crises, separations, and lucky breaks enters the sign of language, media, conversation, and gossip, and starts to affect the flow of communication. The essence of how we communicate is shifting now, and the revolution will be televised. On Saturday, July 12th, Saturn begins moving backwards. Saturn begins its retrograde journey heading back towards Pisces, putting the new Saturn in Aries energy in a holding pattern, while Saturn heads back towards Pisces to complete the last remnants of emotional work. Saturn is a planet of work, and Pisces is a very emotional sign. So we've all been doing lots of emotional work. We're taking up the loose ends and kind of saying goodbye to that chapter over the next several months between this summer and the winter time, February. And you may be clearing the slate to dig into the questions. As you do this emotional work, we're clearing the slate to dig into questions about identity. Who are you? Who is responsible, Saturn, for your actions? Hint, it's you. And what is your next step? These questions will be answered when Saturn comes back into Aries early next year for an extended 2+ year stay in Aries. So let's go back and look at the little picture of this week. Mercury entered its retrograde shadow last week. This means the pace of progress is slowing down because on July 18th, Mercury is going to go retrograde. Mercury is in performative fire sign Leo, meaning that communication is moving into a dramatic phase that lasts an unusually long time due to Mercury retrograde. Mercury entered Leo on June 26th and will remain in Leo until September 1st. Long time. Here's how to use the energy of Mercury and Leo. Express your respect and your appreciation. Communicate about what you love. Validate others whenever you can. And let your mind play and shine and create and be proud. Speak from your heart. And beware of the pitfalls of Mercury and Leo. People are going to want to talk about themselves more than usual, which is great. But it can turn into boasting, interrupting, talking over others, with the result that others feel unseen and disrespected. And that's probably not what you're going for. So just beware the pitfalls of Mercury and Leo. Let's talk about love and connection this week. Empathy and compassion are going to flow a little bit more easily into connections as we move closer towards the end of the week and the weekend, especially Saturday, July 12th. So if you're looking to load your social calendar up, look at the end of the week, Friday, Saturday. Now let's talk about health and energy and well-being. Mars's journey through Virgo continues, bringing heat to the digestive process and the guts, the domain of Virgo. Virgo rules the small intestine and the accessory organs of digestion, the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas. We're also still in Cancer season. Cancer is the sign of the stomach, the initiation of the digestive process. So this is a good time to optimize your digestion by stoking your digestive fire, building up your stomach acid so that you can sufficiently digest your food, and also so that the doorway between the stomach and the esophagus can properly close. A lot of times when people experience acid reflux, the feeling of the acidity is so yucky and icky that your first impulse is, let's neutralize this acid, or block it. Let's block this acid. But that doesn't really solve the problem, because a lot of times the root cause of the acidity backing up into the esophagus is that it wasn't strong enough to begin with. It's not to say it's not acid. It's not to say it's not strong, because it is. But it's not quite strong enough to trigger that doorway between the stomach and esophagus to close. So food for thought if you do suffer from reflux during this Cancer season. Let's talk about the full moon coming up on Thursday, July 10th. Full moon in Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign, practical and responsible. The Capricorn full moon gets a supportive energy boost from Mars in practical Virgo, another earth sign, bringing good news to your occupation and your finances, and making this earthy moon excellent for money magic, manifesting a new job or career, or pushing your work prospects forward. The full moon's ruling planet Saturn appears in a sweet spot at the midpoint between Pluto and Uranus. This brings dynamic, new opportunities and synergies that could prove highly beneficial in the future, probably when Saturn has completed the retrograde through Pisces and comes back around to this point early in 2026. Pluto represents metamorphosis and complete transformation. Uranus is dynamic, forward-thinking, and unexpected. So this represents a sudden leap into the future. Boom! Both Pluto and Uranus assist in creation of new rules, structures, and lifestyles that can support you far into the future. And that Saturn ruling this Capricorn moon adds stability to the mix. Serious vibe to the mix. We love that. I drew some tarot cards for the full moon. I drew the Ace of Wands and the Chariot. The Ace of Wands means there's a passionate new beginning stemming from the events of this full moon, the dynamic energy of this full moon. I really like that. The question to ask yourself around this Ace of Wands is, where does your greatest passion lie? What really lights your fire? What really turns your crank? What turns you on? This full moon could light the spark that starts the engine and gets you going. The Chariot tells me you are really going somewhere with this. So hold on tight and get ready to move forward. There's a decision here, and you are moving towards something that really arises your passions, if you will. The Ace of Wands is about passion. It's about sexuality. It's about excitement. It's about things that make us hot in on all the levels, in all the ways. And the Chariot means, yeah, this is taking you somewhere. It's going somewhere. So strap in and enjoy the ride. Get ready to move forward because it's coming, you guys. That's it for me. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.